The chapter unfolds with the Taiha facing Chung. Chung says, "Hey, you have to behave like Koreans while you are in Korea. Why do you keep addressing me informally?" Taiha thinks, "Let's take a moment to sort things out. Jin Chung knows that I survived 17 years ago. Moreover, he knows that I went to Salerno and became a killer. But why did he just stay quiet all the time? Why did he plan a coup the exact day I returned after 17 years? Chung orders his bodyguards, "Damn it, alright, start." Taiha realizes, so it doesn't look like a coup. The justification that I led the attack is needed for him to be able to rise to the chairman position. One bodyguard steps forward and says, "We don't need a formal introduction, right, old young master?" He starts shooting bullets at Taiha, but Taiha deflects all the bullets using his daggers. He runs towards the bodyguard, but suddenly other guard kicks Taiha. Taiha thinks, so he was there too. Guard exclaims, "I'm Park Juno. Nice to meet you." Taiha avoids Juno and runs towards the other shooter. He says, "Aren't you faster than the rumors say? You would win a gold medal if you went to the Olympics." Suddenly, Juno kicks Taiha, but he dodges his kick. Juno asks Taiha, "Is flexibility your secret?" They both start fighting, toe-to-toe, while Taiha narrates, "Strong." Just as expected from the core strength of Chungu Group, they are on a completely different level from outsiders. Normally, I would have dealt with these guys all at once, without giving them a chance to prepare. Jin Chung is letting his guard down. If there is a chance, now is the perfect opportunity, since Chief Security Baek Junsu is absent. If the woman next to Jin Chung is Moon Dane, then there are currently 3 bodyguards. There are clearly 4 blood relatives who attended the meeting. But, all of a sudden, Juno attacks Taiha, but he notices another person from Juno's eye, and he avoids their attack. They both get frustrated because they missed an attack while Taiha thinks only one left. Other guards tell Juno, "You should have lured him to a place where light doesn't reflect." He responds, "If it were that easy, I would have dealt with him already." One guard asks, "How much bonus will I get if I kill him?" They all start shooting bullets at Taiha, but Taiha was skilled enough to dodge their attacks. Chong, standing at a distance with Moondane, says, "Shoot when he is at a distance. Engage in hand-to-hand combat when he gets close." It's quite chaotic, isn't it? They were trained from the start to catch you. They say you're top class when it comes to speed, and the rumors even reached Interpol. Well, honestly, I thought about killing you with a bomb, but I have to fight just enough, and then end it so that I look like a hero. It is shown that Taiha was cornered by 3 of them, and they say, "No matter how fast you are, we will just make you can't move." Taiha stops for a second, and Junho punches him with a brute force. The scene shifts back to 4 years before. Regina asks, "Hey Jin Taiha, what are you trying to do? I told you to deal with one traitor, not to paint." Suddenly she vomits and asks, "Taiha, how many times has this happened? You could have finished it quietly at your own place. Lorenzo has been good to you so far, so I understand that you feel betrayed. If you make it so obvious when killing, it will only increase the number of people who will resent you. For the sake of your master, that is, for the sake of the Salerno family, don't ever make a mess like this again, okay? And I don't want to know even if you did." Taiha stands up from couch and exclaims, "If a man who betrayed his family dies, do quietly, then this won't set an example for others. People need to know how betraying the family ends. Rumors must spread like a plague. It needs to be exaggerated, twisted, and vividly conveyed to the living. That way they won't betray us. Otherwise, I will be coming for them too." Regina responds, "In order not to kill again, you have to kill them in the most horrifying way? In the middle of the Phlegethon River to spew such a nonsense with a face that hasn't been touched by a drop of blood." As expected, being a killer doesn't suit you. The scene shifts back to Taiha. He kills Junho using his daggers while the other guard shoots at him. Taiha cuts off his arm. Chong narrates, "Incredible speed and enough power to break a sword. The analysis was wrong from the beginning. Everyone who witnessed his full strength ended up dead. This is his true skill." A remaining guard shouts, "What the hell happened here, all of a sudden? No one said anything about this." Suddenly Baek Junsu arrives and orders Moon Dane to take the young master outside. He says that he will catch up soon. Taiha rushes towards Chong and thinks Jin Chong is leaving. He shouts Jin Chong and he looks at Taiha. Taiha threats him, Where do you think you are going? I'm still here. Baek Junsu exclaims, It's been a while, young Master Taeha. Taeha attacks him, but he stops him and exclaims, You have grown up well. I, Baek Junsu, acknowledge you. He pooches Taeha and breaks some of his ribs. He breaks his daggers and announces, however, this is the end. He kicks Taeha and he faints. Baek exclaims, Get up, Wang Junhyuk. I know you're fine. Surprisingly, he wakes up and says, Wah, I was so surprised. I almost died. Baek tells him that this place is going to explode soon. Bring Moon Youngmin outside. Baek enters the helicopter and Chong asks him, Are you done? He responds, Yes, once we take off, detonate it. Baek was about to close the door, but Chong insists that he has to watch it with his own eyes. Baek commands, Debris may get in. Close it. Chong looks outside the door and exclaims, What are you talking about? I have to see it with my own eyes. Do you know how long I have waited for this moment? Helicopter takes off, and Chong narrates, This damn house. I have always hated this place. Always talking about family, it's a damn lie. In reality, they don't want to lose power, so they want to pass it down with blood. He remembers what Taeha said and exclaims, Poor kid. He lived his whole life just crying out for the souls of the dead and died in the end. You know what? The word family is originally derived from familus, slave. Look. Now I will show you how I changed the Keongu group. He detonates the bomb and house explodes. However, Taeha regains his consciousness and he narrates the sound of the helicopter. It's getting closer. It's still possible. Chong looks at the explosion and says, Wow, this is so refreshing. As he was about to enter in the helicopter, Taeha jumps on the helicopter and stabs on his leg. He shouts and both Moon Dane and Baek runs towards him. He asks Taeha, What the hell are you? Taeha responds, Did you really think you could lie down and sleep peacefully after killing not just my family, but your own family as well? I will definitely kill you. Do you hear me, Jin Chong? Moon Dain tells Chong to step aside, but he snatches her pistol and asks Taeha, Do you think you are the main character of the story or something? Sorry, but you are not. I'm the main character here. He starts shooting at him, but Taeha deflects all the bullets. However, he falls from the helicopter and falls into a small river. After a few seconds, a boy passes beside the river and he notices Taeha laying. He questions himself, Is it already too late? Suddenly, Taeha opens his eyes and asks him to save him. It's not over yet. The chapter unfolds with a user XX1515 recording a voice note, and it narrates, You need to help me. This is already the third time I have had to take a breathalyzer test. He keeps calling me Congress Kim XX. Then the boy who saved Taeha in the previous chapters is shown, and he messages someone saying, Hey, do you know who I am? I'm Kim XX. Do you want me to drag you down? How was it? How was the voice? Another person asks him, Where are you now? He responds, I heard from the radio that you were going for a police investigation. Should not you give me 200? Other guy replies, Just 30. He asks him, What? You already heard all of that. He answers, It's not even election season. Who wants that? I don't want it. I think you forgot about the marketplace. If the average person is 1, the top-class celebrity is 10 times that. So this person is 1,000 times the ordinary person. He gets frustrated and exclaims, Seriously, those bastards, at Cheonggu. The scene shifts to the radio and it says, An incident has occurred at X Tower in Jongno. Currently, he shuts the radio off and goes outside. His aunt asks him, Hey, you are going to be late for school. He shows his skateboard and exclaims, No way, because I will ride this board to school. His aunt tells him, Then you should eat. He responds, If I eat now, I will be late. Are you kidding me? Suddenly he hears someone saying, I think it will be a problem if the boss does not have a single customer at their table. One guy in a suit and his bodyguards enter in the restaurant. He says, Who wants to go to a store that sells soup that does not taste good? Just sell your shop quietly. Is not that true? It is shown that he is the leader of Yaburi faction and his name is Choi Bok-soo. Aunt responds, You have really been collecting interest since early morning? I'm busy right now. She tells him not to worry, and he can go to school. She will handle everything. Bok-soo says, You should not jump to conclusions so easily. Our patience is at rock bottom after 2 months. He scratches his knife on the table and tells her, If you sell the building now, you will get to keep the rest of the money and your interest is compounded. What do you think? Aunt responds, who is the crazy person that wants to sell this building for half the price? You should learn again and come back later to collect the interest. While he was on the way to school, he narrates, I live in Wangchonggu. It's a redeveloped area, and due to competition among the Chonggu and the Oseong faction, this area has been abandoned, and it's quite difficult to live here because the rough organization here is lawless. But this is the perfect place for Aunt Nana to hide. He comes back from school, and he notices that his aunt is beaten up, and there are scratches on her face. She tells him, now that you are here, start cleaning the tables. He asks her, what happened to your face, auntie? An old man sitting on a table responds, it was those guys were from the Yaburi faction. They came during the daytime. It seems the redevelopment program is going to take place, so they are trying to buy our building. Aunt Nana responds, shut up and just eat. It's not your problem, put your bag down and come here. He goes to his room, and he was very frustrated because of what happened to his auntie. He speaks, shit, damn it, why is this happening? He narrates, Aunt Seo Young-suk is my late father's best friend. She was a professor at a well-known medical school, but she was kicked out and ended up running away with me, someone who just happened to be an orphan. Auntie should not go through something like this. It's not her fault that her gukbap is not delicious, nor that she keeps serving sundaes with vinegar. He turns on his computer and thinks, if the average person is 1, the top-class celebrity is 10 times that. If it's Chonggu, it's 1,000 folds. He writes a message saying, Mr. Another person asks him, yes, do you need anything else? He shares some pictures and exclaims, Chonggu Securities Executive Director, Jang Juhak, is taking Miho, the leader of Lyo, around as his second-in-command. The top star is 10 folds, while Chonggu is 1,000 folds. Did you know that? The scene shifts to the next day, Saturday. He was standing in the middle of street, while 2 guys in suit approaches him and asks him, you are Gray, right? He looks at them. Suddenly one guy punches him in stomach and they take him to a strange place. He opens his eyes and finds himself in front of a same man Taiha kills in the previous chapter. He says, I thought you are just a shit gossip dealer, but you seem impressive than you look. He asks him about the pictures and says, hey kid, be honest with me. Where did you get this picture? You want to avenge your father, right? You are the son who fell behind while betraying Wang Jinggu, a senior researcher at Chengdu Electronics, right? Gray starts laughing and he takes his watch off and slaps him. He asks us about the picture and beats him up. Gray falls on the ground and tells him, now you have it. You should sell it and get rich. You old geezer who looks like a rag. He asks for a hammer and threats Gray, should I pull all your teeth? Suddenly his man tells him that there is a call from head office and it's an emergency number 1 case. He walks towards to attend the call and says, hey, cover his mouth and put him in. They throw Gray in the room and tells him to stay quiet. There were other people too in the same room. It states his father was a fool. Driven by a ridiculous sense of justice, he tried to expose Chonggu's corruption, but ended up dying in a car accident along with his mother, and he could not do anything because he is utterly powerless. He could have lived happily just by accepting the money that Chonggu gave him. Because no matter how precious the information he got, it could not even shake them. Suddenly they all hear noises from outside, and Taiha enters the room and tells them, cut with this, and everyone can go. We have never seen each other before. They all run outside and Gray looks back at Taiha and thinks, corpses? Is he doing this alone? The scene shifts and he enters in the restaurant. Aunt Nana asks him, hey, why is your face like that? Where are you coming from? He responds, I'm okay, it's not a big deal. I'm fine, so you don't need to worry. Gray walks inside his room and narrates, who is that person? Is he from the Oseong faction? Or is there a different faction coming in? He killed them all with just a knife. Even them who were holding guns. The opponent was Chonggu, but he acted like it's nothing. Who ordered him? Or, does he also have a grudge against Chonggu? He remembers what that guy said to him about pictures. He opens up his computer to gather information. Gray narrates, no matter how good the information I got. If I don't have power, it's nothing. I need power. It's impossible to go through all the data here just by looking at the face for a brief moment. It's really impossible. He remembers when a guy mentioned about an emergency call from head office. He looks up for the number 1 emergency case. He opens up a file named Chunggu Security Guidelines. He narrates, in the event of a critical issue occurring with the company, an emergency meeting with the executive begins at the safe house on Bukak-san. The partner companies under the Gangbuk region control the area connecting Bukak-san and Wangchonggu until the executive meeting ends. He realizes that he can't find exact location, so he says, "I'm not sure who he is." However, there is a saying that no bad person will be against Chonggu. Suddenly a news plays on the radio. A murder has occurred at house number 3 on Wangchon 4th Street, heading towards Bukak-san. Multiple causalities have been reported, and nearby paramedics have also been dispatched. The current scale of damage is unknown, but the location is reportedly a secret residence used by Chonggu executives. There is a request to be especially cautious about the information leaks. Gray stands up and takes his bicycle to go to the exact location. He narrates, "I don't know who is he, or why he made a fuss at Holdings, and I don't know what I can even do by going there now. But it's better than staying still. While I was heading there in a daze, I saw someone clinging to a helicopter. Then I saw him fall with the sound of a gunshot, and I hurriedly went there like crazy. Honestly, I thought he was dead." He picks him up and takes him to his restaurant. He shouts, "Auntie." She runs towards them and asks Gray, "Who is that? What happened again?" He responds, "Please help him. Please save this person." The scene shifts where Taeha was recovered and he asks Gray, "So you are the one who saved me. Who are you?" He answers, "Gray, after all the information I gathered and traded, you are the one that I have been waiting for."